Jai Hind. My name is Vikas. I'm assistant professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The topic that today I'm going to discuss is Spring Framework in Java is there. These are the content of the presentation, that is Spring Framework, what is inversion of control, dependency injection, Spring container, Maven, how we have created the Maven projects are there. And we also discuss the AOP and the how that those are being used in the Spring frameworks are there. Uh, Here in this presentations, I'm going to discuss only the key concepts with respect to these technology that is being used in the Spring frameworks are there. As it's not we can I say that it cannot be, we cannot cover each and every topics with respect to Spring framework here in this in this one presentations. Spring framework is basically in a powerful tools, or you can say powerful open source framework in Java is there, which is widely used is there. It's basically providing a comprehensive infrastructure support for developing the Java applications are there. In this Spring framework, we have the different tools or methods are being used in order to providing support for the developing Java applications are there. Spring was designed to simply the enterprise application development, making Java development easier, more modular and more testables are there. These are the features with respect to Spring framework, as Spring framework is light in weight, which makes the small in size in terms of and the overheads are there, and it is basically suitable for the large and small applications are there. Here we have the inversion of control is there, where the dependency injections to manage the objects in order to create wiring leading to the loosely coupled codes are there. And generally in Java we write the loosely coupled couple codes are there. If we have to make some changes in one code, that it will not affect the code of the other which is being dependent upon the code in which that we are changing are there. Another important point with respect to Spring framework is aspect oriented programming is there, which allow the separation of cross cutting concerns like logging, security for the business logics are there here. Okay, and the transaction management is another important features with respect to Spring framework is there, which provide the consistent for the abstraction of the transactions are there, so that those transactions can be managed across the various platforms are there, like JDBC is there, JPA, Hibernate are there. We use it provides the feature for the Spring MVC is there, robust web framework which is built on the MVC pattern for the developing the web applications are there. Spring Boot, which is the extension of simplified setup and developments of the Spring applications are there, where the auto configurations and embedded servers are being there. This Spring framework provides the security where you can manage the authentication, authorization or access control in your applications are there very easily are there. We can integrate the different frameworks easily here in this case, like Hibernate, JPA, JMS, so on are there. Testability in this, built-in support for testing with the JUnits, mock units are there, thanks to the that is dependency injections, that DI is there, which makes the Spring framework more modular while you're creating the applications or writing a code in the Java are there. So this is the modules are there, where your Spring framework basically consists of the 20 more than 20 modules are there, or around 20 modules are there, which helps in having the different tasks are being there. So generally they basically group into the data access integrations, where the different kind of data are being can be integrates are there, or you can access theirs are there. We have the web applications can be created for the web servlet, portlet struts are there. Aspect oriented programming is we can use here, where the we have the plain old Java codes are being used, Pojo classes are being used there in order to implement. We have the aspects are there, and we instruments are there. We have the core containers are there, where the Java beans is placed an important role, where we initialize the beans are there, process the beans are there. Once the processing has been done, then we have to read those beans are there. Then we have the core, context, expression, language are there. Then on the base, whatever the application that you create, that we can also, Spring Framework also provide the testabilities are there. So their modules are grouped into the core containers, data access, integration, web, AOP, instrumentations, tests as being shown in the diagrams are there. So, important points with respect to Spring Framework as inversion of control is there. As IOC is designed the on the basis of principle which emphasize keeping the Java class independent to each other are there. In order to achieve that interdependencies are there, we use the DIs there, that is dependency injections, in order to make sure that we have the loosely coupled data modules are there. So IOC refers to transferring the control of objects to their dependency and from the main program to the container or the frameworks are there. In IOC container, there are two primary mechanisms we use, that is bean initialization and dependency injections are there. In IOC, in bean initialization, IOC container is responsible for creating the configuring the beans. This can be done through the XML configurations, Java annotations, or combination of both are there. DI is that is dependency injections into beans. This means that IOC container is responsible for providing the beans with the objects that are being needed for their functionality, or you can say their functions are there. In order to provide the modularity, we use the DI are there, dependency injections are there. That dependency injections design patterns that allow you to decouple your code, make it easier to create and manage the objects are there. So in Spring, DI is implemented using the IOC container, which this container is responsible for creating and managing the objects, and it is inject them into the code when it is being needed. So here inject means, so dependency injection is the fundamental aspects of the Spring framework, through which the Spring container injects the objects into the others objects are there, and that will create a dependency are there. Generally, there are two types of Spring dependency injections are there: setter dependency injections, another the constructor dependency injections are there, and the third one is that the field injections, which is not used we generally avoid that is these two dependency injections is generally used in the Spring frameworks are there. So what is dependency? Here it means the code is varying with the high degree of couplings due to the aggregations are there. So we have to create an objects of the class persons. That is being depends on the address of the objects, and to create an address object, we need an contacts are there. So let's suppose we have the class is big person is there, we have int string name is there, and address is being there, and in order to create an address, there is another class is being there, that is address, where the int street, their address is being defined, street, city, state, contacts are there, and again you have to contact that person, another class is being created, that is class contacts are there. So they are basically highly dependent upon there. We use the dependency injections in order to make sure that modularity can be achieved in these Spring frameworks are there. So how do we can create those DIs are there. First one is constructor injections. This is the preferred method in DI in the springs are there. Constructor injection is done by passing the dependency as an arguments to the constructor of objects that is being needed. So, we create in this examples, let's suppose we have the public class examples, we have the private dependency is there. So, that is public example dependency is there which is being created, then we have created a this dot dependency is equal to dependency here. So, this is the constructor based we create a dependency here in this case. With respect to setter is there, this method is less preferred than the constructor injections is there, because it can be used in same cases are there. Setter injection is calling the set method on the objects that need the dependencies. Generally, what we do when we use this setter method is being used when we have to go for the access the data which is being private here in this case are there. Okay. So, this is the setter injections. So, we generally in dependency injections we use the constructor injections in order to provide the dependency in order to make the your code is as an loosely coupled code is there. Then we have the Spring containers are being used. Spring container is the core of the Spring framework, where this Spring framework is basically used for the managing the beans objects are there, or you can say that is life cycle of there, where we create or initialize or destroy the elements of the beans are there. It is responsible for creating, configuring and managing the objects that make your applications is there. So, container uses the techniques called dependency injection to manage the relationship between the different objects are there. So, generally there are two types are there, that is bean factory, which is old method is generally used. Now, we use the application context, that is being new methods are being here in this case are there. So, in this we have the business objects are being created, that is POSO, that is plain old Java classes are there, objects classes are there. So, they provide an insertion where we created different objects in this IOC containers. Different objects are being created, and those objects are linked with the dependency injections are there. And they once the IOC controller means IOC container process that, then we can generate a fully configured application ready for the users here. And in order to configure it, we say configuration metadata is being used, where whether it is the XML based and annotation based and the Java based is there. So, all the three is being used in order to configure your IOC containers are there. They basically provide an environment in which these different modules are being linked with each other and create an applications are there. So, this is the difference between the Spring IOC and the Spring dependency injections. Spring IOC container is the core of the Spring framework. It helps in creating the objects, configuring the objects are there, and they assembles their dependency and manage their entire life cycles are there. And with respect to Spring dependency injections is the way of inject the dependency in the framework component by the follow the of the springs. So, we can use the constructor injection, setter injections are there. Spring helps in creating the objects and managing the objects, configuration the etc. Because of the IOC, that is the inversion of control is there. Spring framework helps in the creation of loosely coupled applications because of the dependency injections are there. Spring IOC achieved through dependency injections. Dependency injection is the method of providing the dependency and inversion control is the end result of your dependency injections are there. So, IOC is basically in a design principles where control flow of program is being inverted are there, where the DI is one of the subtype of the principles of your IOCs are there. So in the IOC, we aspect oriented programming dependency lookup are the other way of implementing the inversion of control is there. In the case of Spring dependency injections, any changes in one code, or you can say one module of code, that it will not affect the other code are there. This is an examples how the you can create an dependency injections. Generally, for that we use the Eclipse are there, where we create an Maven project or Gradle projects are there, depending upon your requirements are there. In this this is the main programs are there, where the source main Java is there, where we create the package is there, and in this package we have defined the application configurations, and the main is there, and the spell checker and text checker editors are there. So here we are, what we are doing, we are creating an application where we have to check the whether the whatever the text that is being written is being the spelling is correct or not are there. And if we are using the man project, we use the pom.xmls are there, and if we use the Gradle, then we use the build.gradles are there. So for that, how to create an Eclipse? First, we have to go to the file, new Spring Starter projects are there. Provide the project name is there. Then we have to, after defining that name, that that's my spring.di projects are there. Now we have to create a project package for that. We have to right click on that objects in this, and create a package for that. Now place your Java code in the app configurations, main app, spell check, and within that package is there. Then we have to define the dependency is there. If we are using the Maven projects, then we have to define the dependency, and the group ID has to be defined like this is there. Then the artifact Spring ID also being defined there, and then this is the version for that dependency. Here we have created the class for the text editor.java is there, where the package we created, let's suppose com.example is there. You can create any packages there where the public class text editor is being used, and which basically check the spelling of that, and we define that as a private spell checker. Spell checker is there. Now we use the constructor based dependency injections in order to provide the dependency is there. So as this is private, so we create a public text editor spell checkers are there, where inside the text editors constructor is being used, and this spell check will check the spelling is there. So another after then we define the public void spell checker dot check spelling is being called. Here the dependency is being defined, that spell checker dot java is being called is there, where that at that whenever that package is being called, or you can say that method is being called, that will help in order to check that spelling is there. And we have created the package is there, and the spell checkers is there. System dot inside the spell check the constructor, and we provide the spell checking. This is for the respect to create for the text editors are there. Then we have to provide the configurations, as we have to provide the bean configurations are there. For that, these are being imported, and with the @ configurations, as in the previous diagram IOC, we have to write the Java programs, we have to provide the annotations are there, we have to provide the like this is the examples, example based are there. So here we have the example based, Java based, annotation based. So we have already provided the Java based code are there. Now we are inserting the annotations are there, which is being @ configurations are there. So beans class is being created, after which will check whether the given text editor is there, and in that text editors, whatever that you written, that spelling has been checked are there. Okay, so after checking it, it will return a new spell checkers are there. That is configuration. That is the main file. That is main.java is there, where we have to import those uh, Spring Framework files are there. Then we have to create an applications where here the instance are being created with respect to app configurations are there, and the text editor will get the beans in order to check the spelling of the whatever that you are inserting here in this case. So, in order to run that project, go to the select the main app.java and run as a Java application there. While running it, you will see the output in the console inside the spell check constructor, inside the check editor constructor, and inside the spell checking. Another important points is there in the AOP is there, that is aspect oriented programming is being used in the Spring frameworks are there. Aspect oriented programming is a technique which allows developers to modelize your cross cutting concerns are there. Cross cutting means concern that the tasks that affect the multiple parts of the program, such as logging, security, and transition management are there. So, API allows developer to separate these concerns from the main programming logic is there. It means that they are not part of the main program logics are there. They are the separate logics are there, which is used for the let's suppose providing security. The another module is there in order to log into a system. Another method module is there if any kind of transaction happens or you can send or receive the data are there, then you use the transaction management are there. So Spring AOP is popular implementation in the your Spring framework are there. Spring framework simply and powerful way of writing the customized aspect by using the either by scheme based approach or at the rate or the annotations based styles is, that is at the rate aspect J annotation styles are there. So although these styles offers the fully typed advices there at the aspect J point cut language where we use the Spring AOP for the viewing are there. So AOP used for the Spring framework to provide a declarative enterprise services there, and it lets the user implement the custom aspect or you can complementing their uses of the OOPs with the AOP is there. Benefits: modularity, reusability, and maintainability is there. It means AOP allow the developer to separate the cross-cutting concerns like we already discussed in the previous slide. We have the different models for the logging, different models of security, different models for the transitions are there. Reusability means aspect can be used across multiple projects are there. This will save that times and efforts, which can help to improve the consistency in the codes are there. AOP make it easier to maintain the code. This is because cross-cutting concerns are separate from the main programming logic is there. So it will make easier to understand, modify the codes are there. So generally these are the different topics or you can say points with respect to Spring frameworks are being used there. Where the Java Beans is another very wide topics are there. AOP is another, dependency injections is another important topics are there in the Spring frameworks are there, which is being used and how the Spring Java Beans are being implemented, what is the life cycles are there. These are different things are there. So in this presentations, I have given the some brief idea about what is the Spring framework is there, and in that Spring framework, what are the different terminologies that is being used, and how what are the importance of those terminologies are there. That is, thank you.